He's trying to say James. He claims himself in Masha's research, and also Jude, Acts, and Thessalonians. So those were the three we know that he did. But I think it was beyond his skills, frankly. So so he turned it over to someone else as soon as he could. He got Friedrich Christian to do Hebrews for him, and then Van Dort apparently did the rest. So
Leopold Van Dort.
All in the same hand. The scribe is the same, but the style is not. So,
so there's some differences.
Okay.
Now, other than these three authentication verses, which is powerful evidence of the Hebrew first century origin, there's not. What we do is we search for Hebrew markers in all the manuscripts we do, things that are different in the Hebrew than the Greek. An easy example would be in Revelation. This is something you actually translated in the Hazon manuscript, is that it says, I am the Aleph and the Tav. Well, in the Greek, it says, I am the Alpha and Omega. So which one appears to be more from the Hebrew tradition? Well, the one that says, I'm the Aleph and the Tav. So we isolate these things in the manuscripts we read. What is the difference between the Greek and the Hebrew, and is there any explanation for that? And usually there is, and often it's a doctrinal tweak, if you will. So other than the authentication verses, we don't find nearly as many other Hebrew markers as we would expect in the rest of the manuscript. So people that
which manuscript we're talking about? The Cochin Gospels?
In the Gospels, in the Cochin Gospels. We don't find as many Hebrew markers as one would expect. So obviously a good part of it really did come straight from the Greek. So it's a mixed bag, which we deal with all the time in manuscripts. A mixed bag, many different translators, many different scribes. You might disagree with me on that.
No, I don't disagree because I haven't studied the Gospels like you have. I've studied mostly Revelation. And Revelation came in the end of the Codex, and it even is numbered differently. 1.16.2 versus 1.16.1. And you can see it's a different hand. And that's where
Can you show the audience?
Excuse me?
Can you show the audience?
I can.
You see it's a different hand. I like things to be tangible.
No, yes, absolutely.
Let me show.
In this case, it's not hard to see. So
this is what we call 1.16.2.
It's Revelation, right?
This is Revelation at the end. It's coming in a different stream. And when you see this at the end of Hebrews,
obviously that's different.
Yeah, very.
Now, I don't know that it's two different scribes. It's definitely two different styles of writing. One is a square script and one is what we would call like a medial script.
Remember, they got the ancient Jerusalem script. You just showed us that translator's note in the front of the manuscript. They call it it was copied from the ancient Jerusalem script.
And this is 1.16.1. This is the style of the script, very different. And then at the end of the Codex, 1.16.2.
That's Luke right there.
Actually, this is Acts, but right.
It says Luke.
Oh, is it Lucas? Let me look. Lucas and Acts, the apostles, I believe. But
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's Luke.
Yeah.
Well, it says Apostolos and Lucas.
Me and Lucas.
So this is Luke chapter 1.
Right.
Verse 1. That's the preamble to Luke.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's Theophilus.
Not gonna. Yeah.
So let's stop here for a second. This is actually really important.
Yeah.
So on the fourth line there, it says Yeshu HaMashiach.
Yeah.
And one of her arguments is that this can't be an ancient document going back to early Christians. Well, she doesn't even consider that a possibility. But it actually, to her, this, and to, I think, Delitzsch, this proves that you have what's called abusive, she calls it abusive language by the translator, because the word Mashiach, there, if you could zoom in, it's the second word on the fourth line. It says Yeshu HaMashiach, right, exactly there. So
Mhm.
Masiach is with a samach instead of a shin, Mashiach. And according to her, Masiach is something like uprooter or destroyer. And they changed the word Mashiach to Masiach as kind of a jab.
Yeah,
So I
we
want to
see
hear
that.
your thoughts on that. I mean, maybe you accept that. I don't know.
Well, in rabbinical, if you're going to be a rabbinical scribe, you're going to jab, and you're going to have your own take on this. And we saw this, the difference between one generation of scribes, where you have the Rahabi scribe versus the David Cohen scribe in Revelation alone. You're going to see one generation of differences and tweaks and changes. And that's, I believe, a doctrinal reason. You're going to see Hashem.
Can you zoom in more so we can see some more detail here? Because if you can make it like 200%, can you do that?
Will do.
There's one thing is that, copying is often done by dictation. And that happens a lot. You can tell because there's a lot of corrections. But when you see misspellings all the time when scribes are taking it down from dictation. But that way you could have 4 scribes or 12 scribes. You could be making 4 copies or 12 copies at the same time if you're doing it by dictation. But you get a lot of spelling errors. This says Yeshu Mashiach instead of Mashiach. Could be a simple error. Yeshu is...
So it doesn't have to be dictation. One of the things I work on all day long is medieval Tanakh manuscripts of the Old Testament. And there are errors all the time. Even if you don't hear it, you hear it in your head and you make mistakes. Yeah. And look there, if you go back, if you scroll up there on the line below where it says Masiach, can you put your cursor there or the mouse so they can see? Oh, exactly. A little bit to your left where it says Ruach HaKodis. So immediately, just before the number 3.
Oh, yes. Right.
The other side, yeah. So there it says the Holy Spirit, but instead of Kodesh, it says Kodis. So whoever's copying this speaks a language, probably as his daily language, which has trouble distinguishing between sh and sa.
Well, could it be an Ashkenazic scribe?
It could be, but there are plenty of dialects of Hebrew that don't distinguish between sh and sa. For example, Lithuanian Jews of that period didn't. But I don't actually know about the Dutch language if they have a distinction between sh and sa.